What is up to my YouTube community? It's your boy Navi here of the Wisecrack Nation with his review and reaction of The Flash. So far we've made it to episode 4, titled Newsflash. Let's see what happens in this episode. As this episode of The Flash begins, I laugh because you have a young millennial up here doing what they do best. Instead of running away from danger, they decide to record it because they think it's going to make them famous. I just wish she would have been hit by one of the fireballs. Unfortunately, X has had to save her. Okay, the fact that Iris can't cook doesn't help, but the fact that she's still sexy does. And Barry knows that he messed up dramatically by not telling Iris that he got their daughter a cell phone. And one of the worst things is, you have a daughter from the future, but she won't give you her cell phone number. I'd take that phone away so quick and say, you know what, take your ass back 25 years in the future. Sherlock Wells trying to hold together a team meeting about Cicada is probably a little bit hilarious. He's making a lot of good points about trying to how to figure out who Cicada is, but I have a feeling Ralph is more on point than he is at this time. You know, when it comes to being a superhero, Barry's one of the best. But when it comes to playing softball, he should not make any attempt at being an athlete ever. You know what? Nora is one of the most disrespectful children towards their parent I have ever seen. Here she has a mother who's trying to get to know her, but she'd rather be disrespectful and talk to her like she's not good enough for her. I'd have been like, okay, you know what? We don't have to have you. We could send you back in time, or I could just remain celibate. Other than that, goodbye. And now we have another Meta, and she appears to be a blogger just like Iris. But she doesn't blog to make news. She blogs to be rich and famous and put herself out there. With this new Meta, it seems she's able to control people through technology at this point, because she's had a police officer bring a bomb to a softball game and Nora stop him with her speed by throwing a bomb in the air. It seems that this blogger will do anything to get herself notification. Right about now, I'm very impressed with Ralph. Not only does he take Sherlock to the scene of where him, Flash, and Vibe got their butts handed to him by Cicada, but he also comes up with a plan to figure out who Cicada is through his mask and find evidence of how to figure out his identity. Bam! He just schooled Sherlock. I swear, black females during this episode are being really extra, especially since most of them have powers. But I swear, if I was Cicada and I could dampen their powers, something tells me bitch slapping them wouldn't be enough. Iris tried to do the honorable thing by warning her, but you know what? If I was Iris, I'd let her go down very quick. I hope they catch this female Meta soon, because she just did one of the stupidest things in the world to send the Flash to Las Vegas. Now, if Excess wasn't there to put the fire out, people could have died. This is what I mean about millennials. They'll do anything to get famous, but show intelligence, that's not one of their strong suits. Luckily for Excess, her mom was there to help her guide her through how to create dual hurricanes to stop a raging fire. Right about now, I'm proud of Ralph, but also very sad for him because they found out what kind of workers wear the mask, but there are thousands and thousands of workers that wear the mask around the country because they're using the chemical plants. So now, who knows where they're gonna go from here? But one thing I do know, since Sherlock is with Ralph, Ralph is gonna wind up smacking him and beating him across the face for insulting him to his face so much. And I, for one, I'm gonna be glad to see that. I want to be like one of the old Adam West beatings from the comic books and the TV shows, because Sherlock is talking too much crap. So Barry, Nora, and Iris decide they have a plan to flush out to see if the young blogger is a meta or not. And apparently, we find out that she's not a meta, but something else. I wonder if the fact that she's flirting with Nora and Nora's letting her flirt with her is indication of that. I'd like to see where this goes. But the downside to it is we finally figure out why Nora is such a bitch to Iris is because that for almost 25 years of her life, Nora didn't have powers because Iris put a dampening chip in her to stop her abilities. Just like Thanos from the Avengers Infinity War movie, this put a smile across my face when I see Caitlin Snow chest punch Sherlock for insulting her and making it seem like she wasn't strong enough to hit him. But she did, and it was wonderful. But now we have another problem. There's a bomb threat at CCPD Stadium, and once they get there, we find out from Iris that it's a trap because the meta in charge of her own app has set up both Excess and the Flash. So I'm wondering, are they gonna fight it out, or will there be something to stop her from attacking her own father? Uh-oh, the new meta has made a mistake. She's setting up Excess to kill the Flash, but now Iris is stepping in. You have poked Mama Bear one time too many, and she's going in for the attack. If I were Iris, I'd feel real good about energy blasting my daughter in the back to save my husband. That had to be a clean shot to knock her out. And luckily for Barry, he had to realize from his team that the meta was still inside the stadium and she doesn't have super speed, so guess what? Bitch, you going to jail. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Sherlock figured out how Cicada had changed from the previous meta that he captured in all those other universes to the new Cicada. And not only did he figure it out, but he also gave Ralph props for sticking to his detective instincts with the mask information. So, hey, it's a win for Ralph and a win for Sherlock. Great, Excess, just great. Not only did you mess up the timeline, but you just may have messed up the world helping your dad destroy that satellite last season. Because not only do we have to worry about meta humans, now we have to worry about meta technology because during the Enlightenment, not only did it possibly create more meta humans, but fused with technology as well. Way to go. You're a great daughter. Not. You know what? I really feel sad for Nora, but I don't feel sad because Iris did the right thing as a mother, but she still has no right, and I mean no right to treat her mother that way. And I'm so proud of Barry. He finally manned up and told his daughter the truth that he respects Iris and her decisions. And Nora, of course, being the baby that she is, runs off and cries and goes to Joe, hoping to stay with him. And he lets her stay, but I wouldn't have. I would have sent her ass back to the future. And I mean back to the future with Back to the Future style. And now we have Cicada. You know, Nora hasn't messed up the future enough, but she's made it worse, 'cause now Cicada has super strength. Way to go, Nora. You're making the future a better place for everybody. This episode has been too much for me, Wisecrack Nation. I'm going back into the Speed Force until next week. Oh, man. Remember, people, stay wise, crack hard, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And have a great day, everybody.